Josiah, what's your feelings on Alexander Mattison?
Alexander Madison is a lock and load play, guaranteed at least for the next 2 weeks while Dalvin Cook's out. But I mean, when Cook is out, Madison is a 20-plus point guy.
He's like one of the most reliable backup running backs.
He
whenever
is.
Whenever Dalvin Cook goes out, you can expect the exact same thing.
You absolutely know.
I'll be honest. I'm as someone who has in a league Cook and Madison. I'm actually excited when Cook's out these days, right? Like, I mean, Madison
Right?
brings a lot.
He
to the
does.
table.
He does.
Nearly
He seems to
just
have
as
a
good
little
as Dalvin Cook.
spring in his step. He hasn't,
Yeah.
he hasn't overcome a major knee
He
injury
doesn't.
so far.
He's not quite the pass catcher of Dalvin Cook.
I think he could be. I just don't know that they'd go to it quite as much when he's in there. Have you
Outside
ever
of that, I
seen
think
drop?
he's
I
just
haven't
as
seen
good
him
as
drop
Cook.
a lot of balls or anything. Have you?
No?
No, they just don't use him that way as much as
Right,
Cook.
this one, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's exciting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
and he
it's-
plays Detroit this week.
Sucks that
easily
Dalvin
the
Cook's
worst
out, but-
team in the league.
Oh,
when
yeah,
it comes to
Detroit. Yeah,
defending
Madison
running backs.
against Detroit. You can pretty much lock and load any running back against Detroit going forward in any game.
In leagues where you have Cook and that you're still in contention and that you have to spend money, I guess you're just unloading the clip, right? To try to get. I mean, you just you're putting out your chips in to get him.
Well, I just
Yeah.
want to say at this point, if you had Dalvin Cook on your team and you didn't already have Alexander Madison, you made a mistake.
You did make a
You
mistake.
made a
A
mistake.
lot of people that make that mistake, especially in short bench.
I don't always
leagues.
think you need to try to get your handcuff running back, but
Right.
but when it's super obvious like that one,
Yeah, where the
Do
town is like almost as good
Right.
in the backup position.
and when Cook goes down, you can slide Alexander Madison in and expect nearly the exact same amount
Yeah.
of points.
So not to control where this conversation goes, but it brings up an interesting because I think you guys can make the argument in most leagues. Elijah Mitchell's not on the waiver wire anymore, right? So
no, I
No,
don't think
he's
so.
highly owned.
No, yeah, highly owned.
I just
But
have,
he's a
I
stud.
have that weird league where I have the choice between
Yeah.
Madison and Mitchell. Let's say you had both of them on your team
Okay,
going for. Do you think this week which one do you like better? I mean,
probably Madison against Detroit.
This week I like
that's
Madison.
true. That's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah, the matchup's too good, but I love Mitchell, man. If you're talking the
He
rest
had a
of the
great
season,
week.
I'd probably go Mitchell just because
Mitchell looked like fucking Bo Jackson.
He did.
he
He
is
looked
a stud,
good,
man. He really is.
He looked really good.
He's good.
I couldn't believe it how good he looks.
Look, when San Francisco commits
Wilson
to a
got
running
2
back,
carries.
when San Francisco
Who?
commits to a running
Wilson
back,
got 2 carries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
anyway,
they're committed to Mitchell. And when San Francisco commits to a running back, specifically Kyle Shanahan, when he commits to a running back, that running back is good.
I like Madison. He's
Yeah.
probably the best.
Probably, yeah, most likely the number one waiver wire pickup on the week
Yeah,
if
definitely.
he
But
is
you guys
not
are
already
saying
owned.
that he should be on most people's lineup.
Yeah, he should have already. If you had Cook, you should have already had him on
So
your
you're just
bench.
hoping that somebody else made a mistake.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if someone
yeah.
else in your league made a mistake and Madison's available,
Madison's
you need to
highly
grab him.
owned, so I mean, there's a good
Yeah.
chance you can go get him.
Or wait,
He's
there-
highly owned,
he's
or
not
highly,
highly owned.
unowned. I mean,
Yeah, highly unowned. Okay.
And you're referencing the ESPN leagues, right?
Yeah,
Generally,
ESPN
yeah,
leagues,
Because that's short bench leagues.
short
Deeper
bench leagues.
He's
Yeah.
going to be unavailable.
See, I know Josiah owns him in this league, and he's got him started currently. He's 33.8% owned in ESPN leagues.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty low.
Pretty low. That's
I
enough
think that's
to
more of a reflection on people playing ESPN.
right. That's a reflection on
I
people's
don't think
patience.
so. I think if you look anywhere else, you can look on Yahoo or CBS or whatever. It's probably going to be roughly the same.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay, the next person is Chuba Hubbard. What's his name?
I forgot
McCaffrey
about Chuba.
is out
Yeah,
for the
McCaffrey's
season.
out for the year, man.
Yeah, and so now you got Chuba Hubbard manning the backfield for the rest of the season. How you feeling about that?
I like Chuba Hubbard. I mean, they're on bye this week, so potential to be a sneaky waiver wire guy.
Their offense concerns me. Would you guys agree?
Yeah, it's
But Chuba Hubbard was pretty good when McCaffrey was out, and their offense sucked. I mean, he was pretty good. He wasn't.
I seem to roster him in daily fantasy and never get his good game. I guess he was good for
He was
like
pretty
14,
consistent.
16.
He was pretty consistently given 10 to 15 points.
I was going to say, he's got a good floor moving
Yeah.
forward.
Yep. And
Yeah.
he's a sneaky guy. I mean, because they're on bye this week, not a lot of people are going to be targeting him. So if you miss on Madison and whoever else, might be able to sneak in and get Hubbard.
Yeah, Hubbard, I mean, he did decent on the weeks that McCaffrey were out. He got 15, 13. He had some bad weeks, 7, and then 13 again. So his floor is relatively high. And if you own him, you know that you're going to get him as a starter for the rest of the season.
Yeah, McCaffrey's not coming back.
So that might be something that you have to think about whenever you're deciding on picking up Madison versus Hubbard. I feel like Madison's ceiling is higher.
I would still choose Madison.
Yeah.
There's usually a chance Madison, you could have him longer than 2 weeks.
Madison's just produced. He's given us real results, right?
Yeah.
Like Hubbard is the idea of Hubbard is that he has a ceiling that we probably haven't seen yet. And,
right.
You know.
But it's like you said, that offense is not going to produce nearly the numbers that Minnesota's offense will produce.
It's almost sad. I mean, started off so well for Carolina, 3-0. So
yeah, true.
Just talk about weird things. Carolina started out 3-0. The Colts started out 0-3.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
It's pretty crazy.
I mean, which one would you take right now?
I'd probably take the Colts.
By 14?
Yeah.
100 times out of 100.
Maybe by 17 if you were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, while we're talking about Carolina, like, how are you guys feeling about Cam Newton after that week? He got benched in the fourth quarter.
He didn't look good.
He did not look good.
I think
he looked like last year.
If you're playing maybe in like a super flex league and you're starting 2 quarterbacks, I think there's going to be some matchups where Cam. I think we obviously saw Cam's floor game this week. Yeah. The question was,
he scored like 30 fantasy points the week before.
So that was what I was about to say was the question was the week before his ceiling game. You know.
Yeah.
Where's he going to fall usually? Because I think first of all, Miami was a really tough defense.
Miami's been a good defense,
right? And they started off bad, but this year I think they're getting.
Yeah, they've been.
They're gaining steam.
Yep.
I don't know. I wouldn't roster Cam in much right now, would you?
If you start 2 quarterbacks, I would hold on to him.
Yeah, I mean,
because we do know
he's like Jalen Hurts.
Good.
He can look like trash and have 15 points, and you don't even realize.
I mean, he's still just getting into that new offense.
But Jalen Hurts is finally finding a floor. By the way.
Yeah, he sucked last week.
He sucked. He was very bad.
Everybody thought he didn't have, like 15 was this floor. That
freaking Gardner Minshew is getting ready to be the starter this week.
Well, that's if Hurts is unhealthy, but
yeah, but I mean, still, I mean,
it's so crazy how the NFL. I mean, Hurts 2 weeks ago looked amazing, and last week looked terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
I mean, he's never really been able to pass the ball.
It's always been clear that Hurts doesn't have the best arm. 2 weeks
ago he looked great. I mean, he was hitting like.
Yeah, he hit.
Yeah, he has occasional games where he throws great passes.
Yeah. I saw him playing his first game in college against Houston, and he hit CeeDee Lamb on a nice ball, but the guy was wide open.
And it was also CeeDee Lamb.
Right.
Yeah.
God, those days are over.
Those days are over. But I don't know. I feel like maybe this past week, talking about Cam Newton, I feel like it's more likely to be fluky that this is going to be his standard. I mean, he's got a lot to play for.
This is what I think. Christian McCaffrey being out is going to hurt Cam Newton because now their offense sucks a lot more.
Yeah, yeah.
He doesn't have as many players.
Did McCaffrey go out that game? I wasn't able to watch it. Like, were you watching it?
McCaffrey got hurt in the first half, came back at some point in the second half, and then left again. I don't know how much time he actually played, but I know he was in and out.
How does that make you feel about McCaffrey, like, long term? Like, it feels like we're constantly dealing with McCaffrey injury, like, every season.
I mean, not very good.
I mean, you just got to go with the data, right? And the data shows he's great for about a 4-game stretch right now. And
right. Yeah.
I think if you're talking dynasty at this point, he's a top 10 guy.
Still?
Top 10, yeah. Top 5, no.
The reality of the NFL is the reality of the NFL.
At the beginning of the year, he was clear-cut #1 dynasty guy.
Yeah.
And now he's not even top 5.
The life cycle for a normal-sized running back in the NFL is very short.
Yeah, like 5 years.
Yeah. McCaffrey is carrying a lot of weight on a frame not designed to carry as much weight.
Yeah.
That's what's happening to him. His body's not built to be as big as he is. He's shredded out, cut, muscled up. And that he's getting a lot of muscle. He's getting pulls and tears.
That was the only knock on him in the draft. Is like he's kind of small. I don't know if he can hold up in the NFL.
But he's huge. Like he's like
he's huge compared to us. But
yeah, but he I don't know. Not all bodies are designed to keep that.
Right.
And I just think he is going to deal with muscle pulls and muscle strains because he is a very yoked up 5'8" guy.
Yeah.
And it's hard to be.
No, he's not going to be. More than likely next year, they're not going to keep using him the way they used to.
So do you think that we've seen our?
I mean, if you're talking,
have we seen the best of Christian McCaffrey? Yes.
If we were doing a dynasty buy sell low, if you got somebody that wants to give you like a 1st-round draft pick for him, I would take.
Right now is not the time to sell McCaffrey in dynasty because everyone's seeing him go on IR.
Right. I mean,
everyone's panicking.
Right.
So
wait till the beginning of next year and then sell him.
But I would say a high,
maybe before the beginning of next year.
Right, before week 1. But that's when people will be excited about it.
Yeah, I would say top 3 running back coming out in this year's draft is going to be a better overall dynasty play than McCaffrey moving forward.
Yeah.
Probably.
All right, so let's
You
move
would
on.
obviously take Naja Harris, right?
Yeah, I'd take
Oh,
Harris.
yeah.
You're going to get a
Oh, yeah.
Najee Harris.
He had
in
a
this draft.
terrible week too, but I mean, I feel like his.
I'd take
future
Harris
is-
over him.
He's young. All right, so a guy who's actually been killing it this year, regardless of the healthiness of Zeke Elliott, is Tony Pollard.
Yeah, Tony Pollard really looks good when he gets the ball, man. He
Yeah,
looks
there's
very
talk of them
explosive.
sitting. Well, they play
Very
on Thursday
tough.
night this week, right?
They played Thursday. They played New Orleans.
And there's
New
some
Orleans.
talk of him sitting, correct?
I think
Yeah.
that got shut down. He's going to play, but
I
We
mean,
don't know.
Pollard's getting just as many carries as he is, even when he is
You
playing.
see, let's check last week. Last week he had 10 carries for 36 yards. He
many
had 4
catches?
targets
Let's talk
for
it.
4 catches,
and Pollard
32
had that
yards.
100-yard return
Oh
touchdown.
yeah, and he had a return touchdown, which is 6 points for fantasy. And I mean, just his entire season is. I mean, it's for a backup. It's pretty solid.
I think
for the
if
most
Zeke
part.
was out, Pollard would be a better play than Zeke when he's healthy.
Yeah, I feel like Pollard is. I mean, this,
I think it's
this is how
almost
I
the
feel.
Madison Cook thing right now.
Yeah,
right? Like,
no, it's very
yeah, but
similar.
I still like Cook a little better than Madison. But if
we'll
Zeke
see.
if
This
Zeke
week,
was
this
out,
week will be good.
You still like Madison better than Pollard? Is that what you're saying?
I think health.
yeah. Well, he was comparing Madison Cook to Pollard Zeke,
Okay.
but I still think when Cook is healthy, I like Cook better than Madison when Cook is out, right?
Right.
But if Zeke is out, I like Pollard better than when Zeke is healthy.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree.
I see.
Meaning he's a better play getting the carries that Zeke gets.
Right. Right.
And that's because of how he is with receptions, right? He seems to be. He gets the ball.
And really,
in
he's
space.
just a tougher runner this year.
he's a tougher. Let me
He's
ask you
the
this.
if you watch him play, he's the better running back.
He
right?
is. He is.
That's what I was about to ask. Do you think that Tony Pollard is better than Elliott?
Yes.
Not at everything. Zeke's better on the goal line.
Okay.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
But for 90% of the rest of football, you feel like Pollard is better than Zeke.
He just seems
For
to be more
fantasy points
explosive
purposes,
right now.
Pollard is better than Zeke, I think.
Yeah, I think it's explosion. I think you watch Pollard and you think he can take it all the way.
Zeke is still a good running back,
but he just doesn't look like
Right.
a back that's going to.
He doesn't look
take
like he has looked.
Like
Yeah,
Jonathan
he doesn't look like
Jonathan
he did 2
Taylor
years
looks
ago.
like he could break it on almost every carry, right?
and he does.
Oh, he does. I was watching him. I was able to watch that game, Tampa Bay against
So he is setting an
Indianapolis.
all-time record right now. Did you know this stat?
No.
That he averages 3.9 yards before he's touched.
Who?
Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
That just shows how good their offensive
That's
line
what I'm
is.
saying.
no, yeah, maybe,
That's
maybe it's that too. But
That's
I mean,
an all-time record.
I've been watching the Colts game especially after Derrick Henry went out, because Jonathan Taylor's like the dude now. But like,
I think
it seems.
I think somebody that you do a show with on a weekly basis talked about Jonathan Taylor being the next Derrick Henry weeks in advance.
Yes, of course. I
We all
agreed
did.
with it. We all did. We all did.
I don't, not,
I was a Jonathan Taylor fan like almost immediately.
Yeah,
Anyways,
we were all over Jonathan Taylor.
Listen.
Yeah,
Anyways, I was saying that I've been watching the Jonathan Taylor games, which means I'm watching Colts games, and it seems literally impossible for him not to get 5 yards every single attempt.
Yeah.
If you average 3.9
Well, that's because he gets
yards,
4 yards before
Yeah,
he gets
you're
touched.
I
averaging
mean, every
4
single
yards
time he
before
runs the
touch.
ball, it's like, dear God, good job.
It's like, why do you do anything
And
else?
when they throw,
Yeah, just
the
give
ball,
the ball to Jonathan Taylor every time.
when they throw the ball to him, you're like, okay, is this going to be the time he breaks it for 70, or is it going to be next time they throw it to him?
Right.
Like,
right? It's one of the two.
Yeah.
and he's a great catch.
he's-
He's a great receiver in the red zone.
He's
Yeah,
good.
he's
He's the
very-
best running back in the league.
Agreed.
He's very good. All right, so Tony Pollard is better than Ezekiel Elliott. That is my opinion. That is.
Yeah, I think
That's
we're all
really
on page with that.
controversial.
Yeah,
right?
we're all on page with that.
I'll just say I have a league where I have Zeke and Pollard. I would love it if Zeke was out, because I'll just start Pollard and feel better
Right.
about it.
We don't want to wish injuries on people.
No, I don't want him
but,
to get injured. I just want them to sit him.
Right. Exactly. All right, so our next guy is Jamal Williams for Detroit. Matt's favorite running back.
Swift.
Swift
Matt loves Swift.
is,
I love Swift too.
is injured, and so now we're going to see Jamal Williams this week.
I'm a daily fantasy guy, and Swift was a dream for daily fantasy.
Yeah,
He's a
he
great
was-
running back.
Sometimes
good.
it took 4 quarters, but he got there, right, every time.
I think talent-wise, Swift is right there with Jonathan Taylor. He's just
He
on a
looks
bad
like
team.
Herschel Walker when he's healthy, but he's another one that I think it's going to be hard for him to stay healthy. He takes a lot of shots. He's not scared to take shots.
This is the first game he's ever missed in
Is
his
it?
career.
I mean,
I mean, second year in the league, but still.
I'm not saying that he's an injury problem. I'm saying projecting forward, that guy's just.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, I think. Well, first of all,
just because he's so explosive, or because he's small.
Every running back is.
That's true. Every running back is going to get hurt.
And two.
Even Derrick Henry.
Yep. Dear God.
I think it's just because the way he runs. I mean, he's just not scared to put his head down and run.
Yeah, that's true.
Tackle.
And you love those kind of running backs until they get hurt, then you're mad at them.
Yeah, I think he's very talented.
Yeah.
I thought he was very talented at Georgia.
Oh, he was the best running back in his draft class, talent-wise.
So what are we talking about on Swift?
We're talking about Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Waiver
wire guy.
After Swift went out, he got 15 carries, 65 yards, 10.8 fantasy points.
What happened to that Jefferson dude? That Jefferson guy looks so explosive.
He got hurt.
He got hurt.
Yeah, he's hurt right now.
Jamal Williams also got 5 targets, 5 receptions, 18 yards, and like I said, he got 10.8 fantasy points. Yeah. So Jamal Williams starting this week in fantasy. He's only 46.3% owned, and it feels like it's a pretty good pickup this week.
I like Jamaal Williams, and I start him if you need a running back. But what I don't like about him is he plays for the Detroit Lions.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sucks. That sucks. Which didn't slow down Swift.
It didn't slow down Swift, but Swift is a lot more talented than Williams.
Right. But, I mean, Williams, after not playing for, I don't know. Swift went out pretty early.
But Williams has a good floor because he's a great pass catcher.
Yeah, great pass catcher.
Yeah,
like I said, he had 5 targets, caught all of them.
Yep.
The other thing
18
about
yards.
these backups is they're not paid as much. So the teams, when they get in there, they have no problem just going, here, take it. Right?
Yeah.
You're gonna get every carry and every catch.
That's true. They're like, we got no problem if you get hurt.
with the more expensive players like Jonathan Taylor's of the world, they seem to protect the carries,
right?
Protect the number touches.
They want him to be a
I think
franchise
Jamal
guy.
Williams should be prepared for you ain't coming out. If Jefferson's hurt and Swift are hurt, Jamal Williams is.
But if the Lions combine for 150 yards, that doesn't mean
agree.
much.
I don't love Jamal Williams. I don't have him as a pickup. I'm picking up 3 running backs.
Right, but if you're like desperate,
if you need a running back, I would still pick him up, and I think he's a pretty good floor guy because I bet he gets 6 catches
in a high stakes league where you're hitting
and at least
playoffs,
50 total yards.
He's a flex play for sure.
Yeah.
So
he won't bust and give you 0 points.
He'll
get his opportunity to do something.
League,
right.
He's going to be hard to make a lot of teams.
Right.
And they play.
They play Chicago this week, I think.
No, they played Chicago last week.
Minnesota. Sorry, Minnesota this week.
So they're going to be playing from
too.
behind. He might even have 10 catches.
Yeah, I think Williams is a good start this week. He's one I hadn't considered. So we'll have to remember him for daily too.
Yeah.
He could be.
I wonder how
play.
cheap he is. I mean. There's going to be some.
We can look that up.
There's going to be a lot of value, I feel like, at running back this weekend.
There is
for DFS.
So much that happened last week.
Did you see me pop Hilliard on you guys in DFS this week?
Did you play Hilliard?
I did.
Dang.
No, you didn't.
Not in the Rays league, but I played him in another lineup on FanDuel because that's the only thing I could play in Bend, Oregon. But
I have to give Julio credit for that. I told Julio, I was like, I totally want to go cheap running back this week and try to line up 4 stud receivers, right, and see if we can't get a 200-point week. And he's like, well, play
Hilliard.
And I was like,
Hilliard.
Give me a reason
to.
And he's like, well, he got 10 targets last week. And I'm like,
that's a good reason.
What are you like 4,200 or 3,800?
I don't know. I didn't
Something ridiculous.
I didn't get to see him on DraftKings. He was cheap on FanDuel, so I played him.
I was so happy when he broke that run. I was like,
it was like an 84-yard.
I've got a chance this week.
Yeah.
So I didn't put Hilliard or Foreman on our waiver list. Do you like any of them better, the running backs that we talked about?
I feel like Hilliard is better than Foreman.
Probably. He's the pass catcher guy. So
pass catcher guy, and he can still run.
Up to see how much expensive they were?
I'm going to pull him up.
Tennessee,
Hilliard.
They combined for 250 rushing yards.
No, in DFS, you asked me about another player.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
How much is he?
5,400.
5,400. All right, well, that's kind of expensive. Hilliard's on a bye this week, so
yes.
They're on bye. So
Foreman and Hilliard are both potential pickups, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I said. I didn't put them on our list, but do you like them better than any of the guys we talked about so far?
I don't know. I probably like him. I definitely like him better than Jamal Williams, I think.
Really?
Yeah, because like we said, he's on Detroit, so I mean.
But Tennessee's looked kind of bad. Since they don't have any other stars. Henry, A.J. Brown, and Julio all on IR. They got no playmakers. Hilliard's their most talented player, and I never even heard of him until a few weeks ago.
Right.
He's electric.
I like Hilliard. He got 131 yards on 12 attempts, and then he had 2 targets.
I like him. I think he's a good ad. I don't know if I like him better than Jamaal Williams, but
I like him better because how long is Swift's injury?
I don't know. I mean, that's a good point. It could be a better long-term play.
Yeah, it's a better long-term play
Swift,
in my opinion.
I don't know if we know much about Swift's injury yet, so
Yeah, we don't. I feel it felt temporary, at least as
it
far as
might
what
just
I
be
read.
a 1 or 2 week thing.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
And Hilliard is a multi-asset as far as like a running back because he can catch the ball, he can run the ball.
Yeah,
And
but it looks like they might.
there's not a lot of competition. They
might do a committee
they
between
cut
him and Foreman.
Adrian Peterson.
Yeah,
this
they cut
past
Peterson.
Week.
You're gonna owe me $25.
What did I?
What was your
What did
bet?
I say? What was the bet?
We bet. I said the rest of the year Peterson won't have any 2 touchdown games.
Well, it's looking like you win.
I think I'm gonna win unless he gets
It's
signed by
looking
someone
like-
else.
It's looking like you win.
Go
I
back
don't.
4 weeks ago, we made that bet.
I don't have a
on the
lot
air, we
of
made
faith in
bet.
that at this point.
On the live show, actually.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, well, I mean, it was Tennessee. I assumed he'd at least get a longer run than that to get 2 touchdowns on the 1 yard line or
Yeah, it turned out
whatever.
Hilliard and Foreman were better than he was.
I guess so. He's like 35 years old. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yep.
All right. Anyways,
Who else is on the waiver list?
we got Hill.
Taysom Hill.
Taysom Hill.
So if you're in a 2 quarterback league, I think Taysom Hill's a good pickup, right?
I feel like he's a great.
In a 1 quarterback league, I wouldn't pick him up, but 2 quarterbacks, I think he's a good
2
pickup.
quarterbacks is a good pickup. Also, he just got a massive contract from New
He
Orleans.
did. They gave him a big extension. I saw that a few weeks ago.
So I think it was like there was stipulations on the contract, like depending on which position he plays. He's going to make between $60 and $95 million.
It was a big contract. I saw that.
A very big contract. So which makes you think that he's going to be there for at least 4 more years.
When I
because
saw that, that's why
the
I
contract
thought like
length.
he's gonna take the job from Trevor.
Oh yeah,
Siemian
and he's
at
going
some
to take
point.
it this week.
Yeah, I think they're just
what it
waiting for
looks
him to be
like.
healthy, and it sounds like it's gonna be this week.
Yeah. So it feels like he's a pretty good pickup for fantasy purposes if you're hurting at quarterback, but also if you're in a dynasty league, Taysom Hill, probably a pretty good stash at this point because New Orleans was comfortable enough to deal him a pretty big contract. So I mean, I like him. He's able to run the ball very well and he can pass the ball decently. So I mean,
He has a high floor as a quarterback because of how good of a runner he is.
Right, exactly. So I feel like Taysom Hill
And a
is
high
a
ceiling.
pretty solid pickup for dynasty purposes, especially.
Yeah.
And then if you're hurting a quarterback,
I think even this year, if you're in a 2 quarterback league, he could be a great pickup. If you're a team who you got 1 really good quarterback and then 1 quarterback slot that you've been struggling to fill with a good player, this could be your chance to fill it with a good player the rest of the year.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
Hill?
That's Taysom
Taysom
Hill.
Hill.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's going to have a very, very, very good floor.
Yeah, very good floor.
Very good floor.
And still good ceiling
Yeah,
potential.
Got a
oh,
4-year
yeah,
contract.
For sure. I mean, he
Yeah.
can have 4 rushing touchdowns in a game.
Exactly, right?
He definitely has a high ceiling for a
Yeah.
quarterback, for
I mean,
sure.
he
Absolutely.
has like a Jalen Hurts type of ceiling, right?
Didn't
Yeah.
realize he was coming back. Do you like Joe Burrow fantasy-wise or Taysom Hill better?
Probably Joe
I like
Burrow.
Burrow better.
Yeah.
Okay, just had to ask.
I think Taysom Hill's like in that top 15 range.
Yeah. Yeah. And if he can get better if he can build some confidence for us as far as like his passing game, maybe it'd go higher. I mean, we haven't got to see a ton of him. We got to see like.
Did we talk? There's a waiver wire guy I want to talk about that I don't think we talked about.
All right.
Who
Did
do you
we
got?
already skip over Van Jefferson?
Oh, we had him on there, but
We
yeah,
already
we can
talked
talk
about
about him now.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
go ahead. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Was he on further down the list?
He
We
was,
just didn't get
I
to
think
him?
he was next, but
Oh,
we
go
can
ahead.
talk about him.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, I feel good about Taysom Hill, especially with his contract.
I really like
Yeah.
Hill.
Yeah.
I didn't
So, I
realize he
mean-
was coming back healthy. Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
solid
a good,
pickup.
That's a good call. That's the information I didn't have. So
Yeah, it sounds like
I
he's
could
going
use
to
a
be the
quarterback.
starter this week.
I didn't even pick him up, I didn't pull him up on the ESPN thing here. But all right, let's talk about Van Jefferson. How you guys feeling about Van Jefferson?
I feel like he's, everybody was just so certain that Odell was going to take the Woods role.
He did.
No,
He did.
He took the Woods role more than Van Jefferson did.
Okay.
Let me throw some stats at you. All right, so who do you think had more targets this week, Cooper Kupp or Otto Beckham?
Beckham.
No, they tied.
Okay. I only
That's a terrible question.
I only asked because of the way you asked me. Answered.
I just wanted to see what you'd say. But they tied in targets.
I like OBJ.
Beckham had a lot of targets.
But I feel like Van Jefferson got a lot of targets. How much? Targets?
He
Van
still
Jefferson probably had like 6 targets.
Let's see here. He had 9, so he was
okay.
one under both of them.
Yeah,
They were playing
I
from
felt
behind.
Like but I felt early Van Jefferson got a lot of that.
They were playing
No, he
from
did.
behind, so
Yeah.
they were chucking the ball a lot.
Van Jefferson was still very much involved in the game. Yeah.
How many leagues can you pick up Van Jefferson at?
He's
Most.
42.9% owned, so
That's higher than I thought.
That is higher than I thought.
Yeah.
it's over half.
He's higher owned than Alexander Madison.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
I mean,
He looks
so
good.
let's talk about some players versus him.
Last week,
Who you like? Kendrick Bourne better than Van Jefferson?
No.
Moving forward.
Kendrick Bourne.
No,
Kendrick Bourne, sorry.
No.
I like Jefferson better.
Yeah.
But this
Okay,
is what
I'm
I
just
think.
trying to
This is
think
what I
of
think
some-
of Van Jefferson. 5 years ago, Desean Jackson.
Yeah, but not as fast.
But he's good. He
Very few
plays
people.
the same
very
way
few
though.
people who have come into the NFL are fast.
He plays the same way though.
I agree.
And the point is, I think he's going to have the rest of the year 2 or 3 games with 15 to 20
I
points.
just rostered Desean Jackson in a lineup in DFS.
Hey, I mean, it could happen.
I don't know.
I mean, he's good for potential.
He's got a
The rest of the
very,
year, Van
very
Jefferson-
low floor and a very high ceiling. That's what.
In my
Desean
mind, the rest of
Jackson
the year,
is.
Van Jefferson has 2 or 3 games with 15 to 20 points and 2 or 3 games with 5 points.
I think that's probably
Yeah,
fair.
that's probably right.
And personally, I hate having that kind of player in my lineup.
No, yeah, I don't. Well, I mean, like
If
You
you're
don't think
scrounging,
he has a big game potential.
he does have a big
no,
game
he has
potential.
big game potential.
It's just that he has such a
His
low floor.
targets
He
are
have 2
pretty
touchdowns. What did
consistent,
he have
too.
last week?
he had
he have 2
9
touchdowns?
targets, only caught 3 balls for 93 yards and a touchdown.
Only 1 touchdown.
1 touchdown.
Didn't he have 1 called back?
He
Not
did
sure.
have. He had one where his feet didn't quite get in the end
Yeah,
zone.
okay.
Yeah.
So,
So
Matt,
it
real
could have
quick,
been 2.
2 weeks ago, I asked you if you like Odell Beckham Jr. or
I
Van
know.
Jefferson, and you said Van Jefferson. Do you feel the same way still?
It's going to be tough. I think it's going to be a lot like what we just saw with the distribution. I think it's going to be like a lot of 10-10-9, a lot of 11.
Yeah.
I say they're pretty even, to be honest.
They're pretty close.
They're pretty close.
Beckham's going to be safer.
I like Beckham better than I did 2 weeks ago when I was.
That's
picking
good.
him.
Yeah,
I'm
probably
glad.
everyone does.
I'm glad.
I
like Beckham a
pretty
lot more.
harsh, and I didn't think he was going to actually do. I figured they're going to end up cutting him.
No.
Still don't think that's not far from.
Okay. Well, I feel pretty good about Otto Beckham, and he only had one. We only have one solid game, as far as like
How
a
many
sample
games have they
size.
won since he's been on the team?
They've lost both of them,
Okay,
but I don't think it's his fault.
Yeah, it wasn't. It's never his fault.
It's not his fault.
Might be a
Cooper
little
Kupp
his
still had
fault.
his normal targets. Van Jefferson had 9, and Otto Beckham had 10. They just lost because they lost, and that was it.
I do think Beckham paired up with Stafford is quite a dream.
Yeah. Right.
It's
Absolutely.
the kind of quarterback that Beckham needs.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. I feel like it's.
Who do you think's faster in a foot race?
so he-
Jefferson or Beckham Jr.? You guys
so
are acting
if-
like he's the blazer here.
Jefferson's probably faster.
I would bet that too.
If they ran 40s, I think Jefferson.
You think Jefferson's faster than Odell Beckham?
I would
What-
bet.
did
I
he-
would bet
Did he have a
good money. Let's go.
Yeah, but if they ran
I don't know.
Go
if
to
they
the
ran like
Google.
a 20-yard shuttle, I think Beckham would win.
Uh,
He's a much more agile than Jefferson.
Basically, what I was saying
Coming out
is
of cuts, he's better than Jefferson.
if Odell Beckham can't keep the production up
I'd-
with Matt Stafford being his quarterback, then yes, Odell Beckham sucks. So for the rest
Oh,
of
yeah.
the season, if he can't keep these numbers up and he's like dropping balls or not hitting his routes right or something.
This was the perfect spot for Beckham because if he sucks now, we can count him out as terrible
Yeah.
for the rest of his
This
career.
is his chance to prove himself, and if he
He
doesn't
won't-
do it, he
won't
sucks.
find
I mean,
a better situation.
we agree. He's looking at a career arc of like 3 more years at best, right?
Oh yeah, 3 years maybe.
You don't see him playing 5 years from now.
He's
do you?
28, I think.
Wide receivers could easily play that long. I don't know if Beckham
I'm
will,
saying him.
but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd bet
I feel
on
like he
it.
has 3 years.
Think
I don't
about-
know if 3 years, yeah. 5 years, I thought you said.
I think he has some real personality issues. I think that's something.
I think you're right.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. If
Like
he has
real-
a 3-game stretch
real
of not getting
mental
any
health
targets,
issues.
he might throw a fit and
Yeah.
who knows what.
All right, we're at 34 minutes. We got to get through this list. So we got
Sorry, I didn't mean to post Vange.
Oh no, you're good. All right, so I can never say his name, but the tight end for Pittsburgh,
Foster Moreau.
Foster
No,
Moreau.
that's Vegas.
Yeah, I put him on the
Or
waiver.
Vegas.
I put him on the waiver list. I think if you're looking for a tight end this week, that's who you would want to get.
Right, because Waller's out at least this
Yeah.
week. And if you're like me, I have no other options
Right.
in the Dynasty League.
Yeah.
So what's Waller's long-term prognosis for the rest of the
I don't
season?
think he's out long. I think
No,
it's a
it's
1-week
like
deal.
1 to 2 weeks max.
Bring up his stats for the season. What have we had? How many double-digit Waller games do we have?
Let's guess. How many do you think? I'm going to guess 6.
6 fantasy.
Half PPR. This is what it's going to be.
Before I pull it up, you guys make your guess.
I'm gonna go 3.
3, and then what do you say?
I guess 6.
All right, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
4 double-digit Waller games.
Yeah. He's had a bad year.
He's
He's had a bad year,
His
but
targets are there.
he's probably
Just-
still a top 5 tight end.
Yeah, that's the problem. All tight ends suck.
How do you say his name?
Moreau, I think.
Moreau?
I think Moreau.
I'm sure it's French, right?
I don't know. He doesn't look French. He might be. Who knows?
Anyways, he's probably the top tight end waiver wire
Anyways,
pickup
if you
on
pull
the
him
week.
up, there was one game where Waller was out, and he had 6 catches, 60 yards, and a touchdown, I think.
Yep, that was week 7 against Philadelphia.
Yep. So, I mean, they use him quite a bit when Waller's out. And I think he's a pretty good play this week if you're
He
looking
is
for a tight end.
0.6% owned.
Yeah, he's owned in your league.
So he's available. And if you're hurting at tight end, this is probably the best option you got. And anyone else is hurting at tight end, which is probably the other 7 out of 5 or 12 teams in your league, you probably need to pick him up.
Yeah, if your tight end sucks, or if you have Darren Waller,
And they play
I would pick
Washington
him
this
up.
week. Yeah.
Yeah, great matchup.
Yeah,
Great
it is a good
matchup. Yeah, he's a person that I'm trying to get this week in several leagues because I had Waller. I had.
He's probably a good DFS play too. He's probably.
Probably.
He's gonna be.
He's owned in our dynasty league, right? Did you check?
He's gonna be chalk.
Yeah, he's owned in the
He's owned in
Dynasty
our
League.
Dynasty League.
Yeah,
How much is he in DFS? He's gonna be chalk, right?
I have no idea how much he
probably
is,
super cheap.
but he's probably
I was
super
just
cheap.
building a lineup.
And like I said, he's playing Washington. He's going to get the Waller opportunities, and he has
I think
proven to
He
be
will
able
guaranteed
to
get
produce.
6 targets this week
Yeah,
or more.
yeah. And I would bet he's under 3,000. I mean, unless DraftKings really.
Yeah, he's 2,700.
Yeah, 2,700.
Oh, man, yes.
Yeah. That's
Talk
nice.
about chalk.
Yeah. I'd probably lock and load that in DFS.
Putting that chalk. You're just loading that in.
Lock and load it. But yeah, that's going to be a temporary pickup. If you're hurting a tight end,
temporary pickup, but
pick it up.
that's just how tight ends go.
Yeah. All right, next person, Kendrick Bourne. Did I say his first name right?
Kendrick Bourne, yeah, I think that's right. How much
So-
do you like Kendrick Bourne?
I'm a fan.
I'm a fan because he's done well with the opportunity he's gotten, but there's really not a lot of opportunity. On average, he gets 4 targets a week, but they're long targets.
This is what I think about Kendrick Bourne. Much better NFL player than fantasy player.
Yeah.
I think he's a good player. If he played, I'm a Bears fan. If he played for the Bears, I'd be stoked. But I still wouldn't necessarily want to have him on my fantasy team.
Great pickup for New England.
Yeah, very good.
Definitely.
He had 6 targets last week. He caught 5 of them, got 2 touchdowns and 61 yards.
He does a lot of things very well.
Yeah.
But he's very touchdown dependent, right?
Yeah, absolutely touchdown dependent.
Yeah.
His targets aren't high, so it's like he needs a long catch to really produce as far
Right.
as fantasy purposes because the opportunity is not really there, but he's been doing decent. He's had, in the last 3 weeks, over 20 points twice.
He's gotten a lot of touchdowns lately.
Yes.
Which
Yeah.
I don't expect
His
will continue.
touchdown dependent has been depending well.
Which,
If you're in a deep league and you need a third wide receiver, I don't hate it,
no, I don't hate it.
Yeah.
but I would try to do better.
He's someone I might put on the bench and see if this trend keeps
Right,
going.
yeah.
Right? 'Cause
Yeah,
Mac,
there's opportunity
Mac
there.
got
Jones
deep
is
bench.
definitely
He's worth
playing with a lot
stashing,
of confidence. And the thing about New England is they probably still have another Miami game, another Jets game. in
They
their
play
schedule.
Buffalo, Indianapolis, Buffalo again, Jacksonville, and Miami.
Okay, maybe they
Yeah,
don't.
a couple good ones, couple really bad
Yeah, a
ones.
couple bad
I
ones.
mean, Buffalo's been giving up some points.
Week 17, the fantasy football Super Bowl, he plays Jacksonville.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You might just throw
But
them
man,
away
if
for that.
you're in the championship of your league and you got to start Kendrick Bourne, you're probably gonna lose.
maybe, but maybe you just need to
Or it's freaking fantasy
do that
brilliance.
dart. Yeah,
I
do
mean,
that dart on your Super Bowl. I mean,
even know
he's
that's
playing
a
I'm just saying
Jacksonville.
you got there somehow, and it wasn't on the back of Kendrick
All right,
Bourne.
but you can stash him on the bench, just thinking, all right, if something bad happens to my main players, I got
there's
Kendrick
a lot of
Bourne in the
injuries
Super
this week.
Bowl.
I got a
He's
lot of
not a bad
injured
stash as long as your bench is deep enough.
We've got
Yeah.
a lot of injured people this week, so there's a lot
Yeah,
of
yeah,
a lot of
anything can
people
happen.
fighting
Well, a
for
lot
the
of
same
injured running
people.
backs, not a lot of injured receivers.
But those are critical players that people are going to be fighting over to play in flex positions,
Yeah.
right? I mean,